Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now this first story comes from PLL77 and says, attractive female friend invited my boyfriend to a fancy wedding as her date. Is this inappropriate? 2-year relationship, I'm 25, he's 27. My boyfriend has a female friend that he's recently grown pretty close to. They met at college and became friends about the same time we started dating. They hang out together a couple of times a week. She's a nice girl and has never been rude to me, but my gut tells me she secretly has feelings for him. I don't have proof because it's more of the way she acts around him, holding eye contact too long, giggles at everything he says, always worries how she looks in front of him. Anyway, she invited him to her sister's wedding because she doesn't have a boyfriend, so she wants to take mine as her date. She told him she didn't want to spend the night alone and thought they would have a lot of fun together. This whole situation makes me really uncomfortable. Since it's a wedding, I'm guessing they'll slow dance together. Plus, the wedding's out of town, which means they'll likely have to stay overnight in a hotel. She's super excited and is practically begging him to go. Her parents already think he's coming because she told my boyfriend, "You're like the only guy friend I have. My parents will love you." My boyfriend's a huge charmer, so I have no doubt they'll like him, but this whole situation sucks. I'm going to look like a massive bitch if I tell him I don't want him to go. How do I remain the cool girlfriend, but at the same time tell him I don't feel comfortable with him going to this wedding as her date? Now to me, if your gut's telling you that there's something going on with her and that she feels that way about your boyfriend, I think it's time to say something to your boyfriend to get this out there and, say what you think is going on with her. As you're going to get nowhere without that conversation and you're just going to feel paranoid about it, and it's just going to start to interrupt your relationship further when you start bringing things up down the line. But Merd says, first, fuck being the cool girlfriend. Second, this whole situation is a terrible idea. My SO has a few close female friends, and it wouldn't bother me if they attended a wedding together or even stayed in a hotel room together. But here's the thing, these same friends would never ask him to do either of these things. The same traits that make these girls close, trustworthy friends also instills in them the common sense and decency not to make a potential inappropriate request like this. I think it's pretty clear that this girl has feelings for your boyfriend. I would tell him you are uncomfortable with the entire situation. If he's any kind of decent guy, he will plainly tell this girl he cannot go. It's not like she's going to face any dire consequences if she has to go to the wedding. Gasp. Single. Hope he responds saying, yeah, God forbid she goes to her own sister's wedding alone. It's not like she won't know anyone. Armchair Anger says in quote, she told him she didn't want to spend the night alone. Thought they would have a lot of fun together. My parents will love you. And goes on to say, yeah, these kind of statements take it from, hey buddy, want to go to a wedding, into the realms of completely inappropriate in my eyes. If you aren't comfortable with it, you just need to tell your boyfriend that. Don't make it about his friend being untrustworthy. Don't be upset that he'd consider it or anything. Just lay it out in a calm manner that you think it's inappropriate for him to go as her date to the wedding. Yaya says this is completely inappropriate. The only way that would even be semi-okay with my SO going to a wedding with a girlfriend is if the wedding was for a mutual friend and he wouldn't have been able to go because of limitations on how many people could go. Or maybe if that girl literally didn't know anyone at the wedding. But this is her sister's wedding. It's incredibly messed up that she even asked and put him in this position, and it shows a complete lack of boundaries on her part. Not only would I put my foot down on this, but I would also feel uncomfortable about their entire relationship. Opie says their relationship seemed platonic at first, but as time goes on, I'm beginning to think she might have an ulterior motive. Likes to Smile says easy solution. You go out of town with them and get a hotel with your boyfriend. You find something to do during the wedding and then pick him up. I would say something like, that is sweet of you, you want to help her out. It's kind of weird that she would ask you since she is aware you have a girlfriend, but if you want to go, I'll help you out. You can get a hotel room nearby and I'll do some sightseeing while you're at the wedding. And another user says, you know what, I wouldn't even worry about being the cool girl at this point because you've been together for 2 years and I would be so utterly fucked off by that. Especially the part about doesn't want to spend the night alone. Seriously, I'd just sit him down and say, boyfriend, it was nice of her to invite you, but I really don't feel comfortable with this, especially the part where you stay overnight. I'm really worried that she has feelings for you and I feel a bit upset that you're going as someone else's date. Can we work around this, please? If you've been together this long, I feel like he should be a little more considerate of your place in all of this, and the fact that apparently you'll be left home alone while he goes as someone else's date to someone else's wedding. Does he even know the bride and groom? The OP does come in with an update and says, just a warning, this is a clusterfuck. I told him how I felt about the situation at dinner tonight and he decided not to go to the wedding. He called her up after dinner and let her know that he wouldn't be able to go, which was interesting to listen to because she was not happy. What did she expect? He's taken. So she majorly guilt-tripped him over text, said she forgives him for bailing on her, but she made him promise that he'd make it up to her somehow. What the fuck does that mean? Make it up how? He's not your boyfriend, so he doesn't owe you an effing thing. He went home about an hour ago and I got a text from him that said she stopped by his place because she wanted to talk. She apologized for pressuring him into going with her to the wedding and said that she understood where he was coming from. She felt bad for getting pissy with him. Then she insisted that they go out for ice cream, which is what they are doing right now. I told him that it feels like they're on a date right now and he said I was being ridiculous. She felt bad, so she wanted to take me out for ice cream to apologize. We argued over text and now he seems pissed at me. Once again, I look like the bad guy and she looks like the good guy. This always effing happens. I don't know what to do. In my mind, this girl clearly has a game plan, is trying to slowly work herself into the girlfriend role. They're going running tomorrow at the gym together, which bugs the shit out of me. I understand wearing short shorts and a sports bra to the gym is normal running attire, but I can't help but feel like she's trying to show herself off in front of my boyfriend. I'd actually like him to end this friendship with her, but at this point in time, I'm going to look like the bad guy again, if I request that. Baby steps, I guess. And there was one more comment, which was the top comment, and OP replied to saying, this is great advice, and said, I came to this thread looking for some rational advice and didn't really find any, so here are my 2 cents. OP, has your boyfriend ever expressed any interest in his friend as being more than a friend? Are her flirtations reciprocated? If yes, then maybe you have something to worry about. Take a couple of deep breaths and find a notebook and do the following. Write out everything you're feeling. I mean everything, even the little stuff. Get it all out. Leave the notebook and go do something else for a bit. I find reading, doing laundry or cooking helps. Go back to the notebook, read everything you've just written out. Start on a new page and organize everything you previously wrote. Eliminate everything that you think might be particularly combative. You're aiming for calm, clear points of discussion. Repeat the above steps until you have a concise, well-organized set of thoughts to go talk to your boyfriend about. Pro tip: during the conversation with your boyfriend, let him know your process and that these are your feelings, and that those feelings are where this conversation is coming from. However, if your boyfriend never shows signs of being romantically interested in his friend, you need to take a big step back. Trust your boyfriend. He's had plenty of opportunities to get with his friend for 2 years now, but he hasn't. A while ago, my SO and I were talking about my exes and I asked him if the discussion made him uncomfortable. He said to me, sure, you could be with any of those people right now instead of me, but you aren't. I'm the one you're interested in, so why would I be threatened by talking about them? That's the mentality you need to take. Your boyfriend could be with any number of other people, but he isn't. He's been with you for 2 years and seems to really care for you. Be confident in that. This isn't a competition because he's already yours. However, again, don't push him away. Don't start a silly war with someone who seems to mean a lot to him because you are insecure about your relationship. That is the surest way to drive him away. And I don't mean into his friend's arms. I mean push him out of your life completely. I had a lot of people saying that was good advice. Other people saying, they wouldn't be able to put up with that relationship in the way it seems to be going. But what is your thoughts on this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And before we get into the next story, I just want to give you a warning that it's a bit of an older story, but it was one that was sent to me on Twitter because it had an update and all this kind of thing. So, as always, if you want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. And our next story does come with an update as well from Bay99, who says, best friend admitted to having a crush on my boyfriend, male 25. He also stole my idea for his Christmas present. What am I, female 25, supposed to do? Sorry if this is jumbled. My laptop's not working, so I'm trying to type this on an iPad. I have a best friend of 9 years and we've run into a major problem just recently. First of all, even though she's attractive, she has terrible luck with men. Men treat her like shit, so she doesn't trust them. This obviously leads to serious issues in all of her relationships, and it always ends with her getting dumped. I've been in a serious relationship for almost a year, so my boyfriend has met all of my friends. From day one, my best friend took an instant liking to him. They're both hilarious, so they laugh like maniacs whenever they're around one another. Whenever we're hanging out in a large group, they're extremely entertaining because they feed off each other's personality and energy. Everyone loves it. Everyone but me. It's obvious she has feelings for him. I spoke to my best friend about this and she admitted to having a crush on him. I can't blame her. He's attractive and he treats her extremely well, something she's not used to from men. The problem is, she won't back off. I've spoken to my boyfriend about this and he says that I have nothing to worry about because he's not interested in her. Their chemistry is undeniable. It's obvious when they're together. My boyfriend says he loves me and doesn't want me to ruin my 9-year friendship with her. However, this weekend, she went behind my back and bought him the new Xbox One for Christmas. Financially, she's really well off, so this is no big deal to her. But she effing stole my idea. She knows I was going to buy him this for Christmas because I fucking told her. She's given my boyfriend tons of hints, so he already knows what she got him. So now I'm going to look like a see you next Tuesday if I ask him to reject the gift. Plus, he's going all out for a Christmas gift as well, since she spent so much on him. This is not okay with me. It's getting to the point where I feel like she's trying to undermine relationship with him little by little. I've noticed that whenever we're together with my boyfriend, she always tries to make herself look better and subtly puts me down in tiny ways. I'm seriously tempted to end my friendship with her. My boyfriend says I'm overreacting and that he helped me work through it because he doesn't want me to lose a friend of 9 years. What am I supposed to do? Now that's not someone I would call a friend for one, because she's openly disrespecting your relationship and basically trying to steal your boyfriend from you. The fact that she won't back off and seems to be buying this expensive gift for your boyfriend seems totally inappropriate. And now he's deciding to reciprocate this gift as well. None of this sits right with me. And the caption that says 1. Stop calling her your best friend or even a friend, period. 2. Tell your boyfriend that you had intended to get him an Xbox One. Tell him when you got the idea, when you told her everything. Make it very, very clear that she stole this from you. 3. Talk to your friend and tell her very firmly, no crying, leeway for her to BS her way out of it, that her buying your boyfriend a gift this expensive and one she knew you were getting him is completely inappropriate. Call her out. Tell her that if she considers you a friend at all, she'll back off right now or the friendship is over. If she argues, it is over. Do not back out on this. 4. I saw elsewhere in the comments that you decided to tell him to reject the gift. He knows he's getting it from you. He knows how upset you are with her for buying it for him. So if he refuses to do this, this is a huge deal breaker in my opinion. You deserve better friends than this. You deserve a boyfriend that respects you and your feelings. If he doesn't see your point of view and is resistant, good riddance to them both. Good luck, OP, and please do update. Mika says, no matter the amount of years you have with her, this is extremely disrespectful. Tell her to back off or you'll cut her off and urge your boyfriend to do the same. If he doesn't, then it's out of your hands and I wouldn't maintain a friendship with either of them. Tenure in a friendship is not a get out of jail free card to be super disrespectful. Put an end to it. Fascinating Fade says, as a guy, if my girlfriend's best friend bought me a $400 present, no matter how well off, I'm insanely uncomfortable with that situation and I'd probably refuse it. I definitely don't try to match it. But yeah, you have a shitty friend who's trying to make herself look awesome. Honestly, either ask your boyfriend to talk with her and tell her that this is getting inappropriate, or tell your friend enough is enough. Another user says, I'm sorry, but your boyfriend is being inappropriate here too. I'd be a little surprised and hesitant if my boyfriend's best friend gave me a Christmas gift, much less one that costs hundreds of dollars. I certainly would not be all fired up to go all out on a gift for him either. I'm willing to bet your boyfriend doesn't have 100% platonic feelings for her too, especially since he's apparently unfazed by the news that she has feelings for him. If I knew my boyfriend's best friend had a crush on me, I'd take extra care to distance myself, not give him the wrong impression, etc., out of respect for my boyfriend. It sounds like his concern over you breaking off your friendship with her has less to do with not wanting to be the cause of your 9-year friendship ending, more to do with his selfish desire to keep her around as a source of affection. I'd put your foot down, cut this girl off, and if your boyfriend doesn't back you 100%, I'll start second guessing the relationship too. And one more comment that says, that is actually quite awful. I suppose suggesting that you buy him a PS4 because it is better and will make her look bad won't help any. I suppose he'd have to think the PS4 was way better too. In all seriousness, I'm not sure that your boyfriend would think you were overreacting if you told him what she had done. I know it's complicated because you don't want to ruin the nice Christmas present for him, no matter who is giving it to him. But I still think you could find a way to tell him about the situation. Show him how bad it is, because that is really awful of her. It doesn't sound like she's truly your friend anymore. What kind of friend treats you like that? The OP does come back in to update the post and says, I'm no longer friends with her. I had a conversation with her the day after my post and things did not go well. Instead of apologizing to me for stealing my idea, she went on the defensive. She tried to justify all of her shitty behavior over the past couple of months, even though she was clearly in the wrong. So I was left with no choice but to end my friendship with her. Once I explained the situation to my boyfriend, he contacted her and let her know he would not be accepting any gifts from her. He also told her that he thought it would be best if they were no longer friends. I actually think she was more pissed off about losing my boyfriend than she was me, which says it all really. However, this hasn't stopped her from contacting him. It's only been a few days and she's called and texted him numerous times. She stopped by his place last night to drop off a couple of dumb things since they're no longer friends. But in all reality, she was just looking for a reason to see him. She ended up staying over at his place for 45 minutes, giving him a sob story and acting all sad. Apparently she even managed to cry a few tears. So now he feels bad and I have no doubt that's what her goal was. He's easy to manipulate and she knows that. But he's stuck by my side and hasn't given me any reason not to trust him, which is awesome. And that is pretty awesome, and the only thing I would try and do is just try and reinforce those boundaries and, tell him that he is doing the right thing in this, that she tried getting in between your relationship and destroying the both of you. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to one more story from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit, who says, would I be the arsehole for not wanting to add my half-sister to the deed of a property after my mum's death? My mum passed away in April without a will, and I'm currently going through probate to transfer my parents' properties. I plan to sell the church/house and keep the one where my half-sister is living. I am my mum's only child, and my half-sister is on my dad's side, who passed away in 2020. My half-sister has been living at the second property for almost 20 years, paying rent to my dad and then to my mum/me since my mum let me handle the rent collection. A little over a week after my mum's funeral, she approached me and said, I'd like to be added to the deed after the mortgage is paid off. I was stunned by the request and didn't know what to say, so I told her I would ask the lawyer about it. I can understand her perspective, as paying rent for 20 years without having property in your name can be frustrating. She might also be worried about me raising the rent. She currently pays $875 in Los Angeles. The mortgage is $500, but the market rate on Zillow is $2,000. However, I have several reasons for not wanting to add her to the deed. 1. My dad used to complain to me about how she took advantage of his kindness by not paying the rent in full by the 1st of every month, half on the 1st and half on the 15th, causing him to make up the shortfall himself until the middle of the month. Sometimes she'd skip a rent a month to go on vacation. 2. While sick with cancer, my dad advised me not to let people take advantage of me, especially if they're family, as it was one of his biggest regrets. 3. She lied to me about the reason my dad raised the rent, claiming it was so he could take over the repairs because she was doing them herself with lower rent. I remember accompanying my dad when he made repairs himself as a kid, so this is obviously not true. 4. A request to be added to the deed after the mortgage is paid off seems unfair, as it implies she wants the benefits of home ownership without having the debt involved if I decided to keep the mortgage. And we're starting the comments with Boo Cat, who says not the arsehole and don't put her name on anything. If she wanted to own a home after paying rent for 20 years, then she should have actually bought a home. You're not obligated to her in any way, so listen to your dad. He sounded like a very wise man. Sorry about the loss of both your parents. Numbers Guy says, OP, once probate is finished and the title is transferred to your name, do a transfer on a death deed, so therefore once everything is in your name, whoever you pass it on to, it avoids probate since it's available in California, and it avoids probate altogether. This way she can't contest it after you pass. Follow your parents' wishes, otherwise they would have provided for her, and realize that this is your legacy, so focus on what you're providing for your economic benefit, since she's worrying about hers and not yours. Confused says perhaps you could offer to sell her the house at market value or just below so she can stay there. If she can't afford it, that is not your concern. She sounds entitled for asking for her name to be put on the deed after it is paid off. In my opinion, if she has not been good to you and a positive influence in your life, you do not owe her anything. You can be generous and give her a long time to move out. Opie says I'm fine with just continuing to let her pay rent and I pay for repairs, as long as she doesn't make it weird. Outside guidance says not the asshole, don't give the house or half to this person, she's entitled as fuck. Honestly, she's been living at a significantly reduced rate for 20 years it seems. She hasn't owed a house because she's paid a bit of rent. If you want to be gentle, give her 6 or 12 months of notice that the rate will increase to something like market value and to be paid on the 1st of every month, unless you want to sell. And one more comment from Ice Cat who says, depending on the rest of the estate, maybe you're the arsehole. I'm not sure where I understand, where it is more yours than hers, except your mum lived longer. Is this what your mum would want? My god, your sister has literally paid the mortgage on the property for 20 years. She's not some rando tenant. And then some people were suggesting that there might be some more to the story as well that we're not getting. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. You just